Shawn right here with David Baye at the Baltimore Pro at the Hyatt Regency. Dave, what do you do?
I can't do it, man.
You know what they say about people who wear sunglasses inside?
Yeah, blind people are assholes.
I resemble that remark. Anyways, I'm here with the world-famous David Baye. We're previewing the very first Baltimore Pro Championships put on right down the street here at the Lyric Opera House. We're at the Host Hotel, the Hyatt Regency. We just finished the athletes meeting. We've got very full lineups in our pro division, surprisingly so. We're starting off with the men's pro bodybuilding. We've got 14 guys coming in here to compete for the $28,000 first place prize. I believe there's over $80,000 at stake here tonight with the pro physique, bikini, and both men and women tomorrow.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a good show. You know, one of the things that obviously the promoters run the risk of when you're having a first ever show, are you going to get the big names? Are you going to get the big name guys to show up? And are you going to get a bunch of them? You know, sometimes you'll get a first year show, you'll get one or two guys that show up that want to get that Olympia qualification spot or are looking for an easy win. There's a lot of good competitors here this weekend, which says a lot about the promoter Boris and, you know, the show that he's been able to put together here.
Well, and only one is going to qualify for the Mr. Olympia, and as of yet, none are qualified. So let's go down that list. Let's start with one of the more notable veteran guys, a guy that's been in many Olympias, a former Arnold Classic champion, first runner-up at the Mr. Olympia, Victor Martinez. He came very close in New York this year, and it didn't pan out for him. So what's going on?
Yeah, no, Victor has definitely got to be one of the favorites.
Did he win the New York show?
No.
I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I'm like, oh, thinking back to who won New York, but it was
Juan?
No, it wasn't Juan. No, we're
gonna come back to that, but we know that Victor did win New York.
It was Dexter
Jackson, right? But Victor is a former New York Pro champion. He's trying to find his way back to the victory circle to get to Las Vegas. Tell me what he's got to do.
You know, he's got to show up. He's got to show up really lean, and he's got to show up full, which you know, we know he's capable of doing. It's been a little while. The biggest question mark with Victor right now is what has his training at the Oxygen Gym in Kuwait done for him. Now we know it seems like guys are going out there as, you know, as Clark Kent coming back, Superman,
right.
And from the pictures online, which don't always tell the whole story, Victor looks like he's made some good progress. He looks like he's a little bit fuller, a little bit leaner than we've seen him, and if he really puts it together for the show, he can definitely be a front runner.
Well, in short order, we've got some other guys. It's not a walk away landslide. Who else is on that laundry list of competitors?
Well, we got Max Charles. When Max is at his best, we know he's going to be a contender at a show like this. A little bit off in Vancouver.
He's coming off fifth place.
Yeah, I think he was fifth place. You know, and so he wasn't really targeting for that show. He kind of just jumped in last minute. I felt like he could have been placed a little bit higher, definitely lower than we thought he would be at a show like that. But if Max is 100%, he's definitely a threat. Okay. You have Fred Smalls. Fred coming off, you know, a better showing in Chicago than we've seen him. Fifth place at the Arnold Africa. I think he was third place in Vancouver. Right. So Fred has addressed some of the conditioning issues that he's had in the past. He's still bringing some good fullness. Would like to see him a little fuller, but you know, so he's a contender too.
The irony with Fred lives in Delaware. I told Fred back in March this is a show he should put on his calendar. He went all the way to South Africa, went all the way to Vancouver,
yeah.
And I'm not sure he didn't do Chicago.
Yeah, he was in Chicago.
He went to Chicago, and he winds up here. And so this is the last stand for him to try to get to that Mr. Olympia Championships. What about the big Russian, Alexander Fedorov?
Yeah, Fedorov, I tell you what, you know, he's missing he's got that pec tear. So did
Kevin Levrone.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, that's another story. You know, he's missing, you know, the aesthetics that maybe he had, you know, back in the early and mid 2000s. But he's not missing that size that he had. I mean, when he steps on stage, he's one of these guys where he's got a very imposing physique. He's huge. You know, he's hitting these most musculars in these lat spread. He's as wide as a house. So if his conditioning is razor sharp, he's another guy that can do pretty well.
Michael Lockett? Lockett coming off second.
Yeah, we got a couple of guys that did well in Chicago. We have Michael Lockett coming off a second place finish in Chicago behind Dallas McCarver, who is obviously no slouch there. We have Akeem Williams, who, you know, I mean,
is he cut? Has he found a way to pull that water out? Because Akeem has all the muscle in the world. Reminds me of Victor Richards. Just can't bring the water out to get the separation. And on paper, he's got so much muscle. You got to put him up there in the front runner. But then he gets up there and it's just not separated. What are we going to get?
It's hard to say. I mean, you know, in Akeem is one of these guys where the discrepancy between his front and his legs and his upper back is drastic.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we'll see guys and their back is a little bit softer than their front. Akeem's upper back in Chicago looked like it was a good 6-8 weeks out from the show, where, you know, he had other body parts that looked like, you know, they were on the money.
Is this a dietary thing? I mean, at the end of the day, you only have so many shots. at the title before people start just overlooking you. All that muscles doesn't mean a whole lot until you can rip it up.
Yeah, I think what a lot of competitors do at every level when they're dieting for a show, they like to focus on whatever body parts look good and look the leanest, and judge their progress based on what they want to see. And I tell guys, like, you got to cover up. If your legs are the most shredded thing, cover them up. Don't look at your legs. Focus on whatever your weakest body part is, and when that is ready, everything else is obviously still going to be there. So for Akeem, when his upper back is shredded, his legs are, there's not going to be anything but skin there. But until his upper back is shredded, then he needs to keep pushing the diet. He needs to keep pushing the cardio, and he hasn't been doing that.
A lot of these shows are one from the back, so we're not no shortage of bodybuilders. We've got 14 men, but the biggest category we have are the pro men physique. Lots of guys coming out to try to win this qualification and get to Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's big numbers in this division, so it'll be a good division. Not any real front runners. When we look at the names, there's not a Jeremy Buendia or a Jason Poston or Ryan Terry. Yeah, so anytime you have a show like this with big numbers and a lot of guys, it is wide open, and it leaves the opportunity for one of these guys to really make their mark, make a name for themselves, and get the Olympia qualification.
Not to mention, we've got women's pro physique. I think there's about 14 bikini, women's pro bikini, and women's pro physique.
No, just bikini.
Men's physique, bikini, and bodybuilding. That's it. Thank you for correcting me on that. But in the
Shawn
bikini, we got a strong lineup.
He's getting a pump.
We got a strong lineup in the women's bikini, which no shortage of talent. I mean, we got girls coming in all the way from Australia. This is a very good first-time run without an amateur show to anchor it. A beautiful venue. We've got Robin Chang's in the house. Head judge Tim Gardner is going to be here. Muscular Development's in the house. Make sure you guys follow us after the prejudging to come back to find out how we did at www.musculardevelopment.com. Then we'll have a finals wrap-up. Hopefully we'll have some championship interviews. But for right now, David Baye and Shawn Ray here at the Hyatt Regency in Baltimore, Maryland.